In all 7 games that Templeton has won this year, the Eagles had allowed 17 or fewer points in those victories. Tonight, Templeton hosting Corcoran in a D5 quarterfinal. That's where Tony Almanza was hanging out.
Hey Mike, Templeton took care of business last week in the first round of the playoffs, defeating Roosevelt 27-14. Corcoran comes into this game with a 9-2 overall record. They won 8 out of their last 9 games. We should be in for a fun one. The Templeton Eagles come into this game with a 7-4 overall record, while the Corcoran Panthers look to continue their playoff run, winning 28-12 last week. The Eagles back on offense were able to get the running game going on this possession as Jan Martinez runs it through the Panthers defense and carries a defender along the way. And Templeton gets on the board first as Dylan Krilling runs it from 3 yards out to give the Eagles the early lead. The Panthers answer right back as Gates Armburster finds Ian Hernandez on this pass going 67 yards. Corcoran's kicker missed a PAT kick, so Templeton still holding on to a 7-6 lead. On the last play of the first half, the Panthers' Armburster draws back to pass, but he couldn't find a man open, so he turns on the Jets and takes it himself from 24 yards out to give the Panthers a 14-7 halftime lead. In the third quarter, the Eagles defense made some big stops as they were able to get the Panthers off the field. And a couple plays later, the Eagles were able to finish off the drive, getting in the end zone to tie the game at 14 each. The Panthers were driving late in the game, but the defense again for Templeton making big plays and forcing them to kick a field goal. Now the Eagles down 3 need points if they want to keep their season alive, and Martinez gets the drive going for them as he takes the handoff and takes it to the outside for a nice run. And to finish off the drive, Anthony Chavez takes it himself as he runs it down the middle, finding the end zone. The Eagles now up late in this one, 21-17 with 1:40 to go. On 4th and 10, Armburster does his best to keep the season alive for the Panthers, but can't find a receiver downfield, and the ball goes back to Templeton. The Eagles beat the Panthers 21-17 and advance in the playoffs. They'll be meeting Pioneer Valley next week.
Thank you, Tony. You saw a thriller. And yes, Pioneer Valley pulling off the road win at top seed Bishop Union. That's a long bus ride, and it was a happy one coming back. They win 9-7. Up next, it's out with the Central section and in with the CIF Southern section quarterfinals. Highlights of Pacifica's home game as well as the Newbury Parks game against Newport Harbor.